Thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video.
Hello ladies and gents, and welcome back to the channel. This is a really exciting adventure for me today because it's my first trip out since my eye operation. Oh, look at this. Just as I started talking there, we've got this beautiful rainbow off in the distance, which is probably going to be a good indication of the sort of conditions we're going to be getting today. So as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by that rainbow. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep last night. I think I've only slept for about 4 hours. I was so excited. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. I think in this case, it is an absolute delight, an absolute joy to be back out in the Lake District with my camera. It's going to be a good day. What did I just say? It's going to be a brilliant day. Look what's been thrown at us here already. The path is completely and utterly flooded. What am I supposed to do here? I wonder if I can sort of find a way around. Yeah, this looks like I might be able to get away with one here. Oh, goodness me. We nearly went for a swim then. Oh, this is the sort of stuff I've missed. When all your plans go out the window. Oh, look how beautiful this is looking already. Absolutely awesome, man. So I'm at the other side now. I just wanted to show you whilst we're here. Look at these lovely early signs of autumn. I love this time of year when you've got the anticipation of what's to come. Autumn, winter, spring. Look, all the bracken is on its way out. Look at that light up there. Absolutely wonderful. I am so excited for today's adventure. Wow, look at that, there's some heather clinging on for dear life, looking really, really vibrant actually. Fingers crossed we get some of that up on the fell today. So hiking up a relatively small Wainwright today called High Rig. Despite its name, it's a little bit misleading. It's one of the smallest Wainwrights. I've picked it deliberately because it's the first adventure after my eye operation, like I said. Actually, on that note, I must address the daft looking sunglasses. These are actually my cycling sunnies. They don't look as daft when I've got my cycling helmet on, honestly, but it's certainly not a fashion statement. It won't be a very good one. They're just the best glasses that I've got to protect my eye, just in case. It lessens the risk of impact, and that's the main thing that I've got to watch out for, really. But yeah, I've also chose a small fell because I don't want to overexert myself. I haven't really done anything for the past month, so I know already, because I can feel it going up this small hill, that my fitness is going to be a little bit off. But despite its modest height, this should be a beautiful fell. I've never been up it before. To be fair, already the views are absolutely outstanding. Look at this, we've got views back towards Thirlmere over there. There's some light down in the valley. I love how wooded it is as well around here. It's fantastic. Some incredible light up here as well. So good. So I'm just on a section of, well, this whole ridge really. High Rig is a ridge. In fact, I think rig means ridge, so it would make sense. But this first part here is called Wren Crag, and as you can see, it is just absolutely beautiful, littered with crags and heather. So much heather, which is an absolute bonus. That didn't even enter my mind before I came out today. So I'm thinking, because the light's so nice, as you can probably tell in the background, I'm thinking I might grab a photograph here whilst we've got this spectacular view down into the valley there, down towards the main road. It's just absolutely gorgeous, so it's got to be done. Whoa, I nearly went then. So as you can see, we've got a little rain shower and it's making for the most incredible conditions back down into the valley. Look at that, absolutely perfect. So we're shooting with the Nikon Z7 today, just with the 24 to 200 millimeter lens. I did chuck my tripod on the side of my bag as well, but I don't think I'm going to use him, to be honest. He's just probably going to sit there all day. But I've already taken the shot. It's quite difficult to show you because of the rain, but it screams out panorama to me, this. All the way here from that lump there called Brown Crag, and then past this big tree here, which is going to be a lovely feature in this panel. I think it's a larch tree. Making our way across past all these crags and all this heather down here into the valley where we've got all that incredible light. And then that sort of big hill that you can see there quite close to us, he's called Great Howe, I think, and he is a fantastic feature on the right hand side of this panorama. Clouds are amazing, light is amazing, and it's just going to be a bracketed panorama. So we'll get the specs back on. Oh gosh, they need a wipe, they need a wipe. There we go, that's a bit better. So that was truly a case of being in the right place at the right time, coming off the path, off piste a little bit, and just taking ourselves up on that little crag there. And then pretty much as soon as I got up there, honestly, that rainstorm came in. But as we always say with landscape photography, you've got to be in it to win it. You can't really put everything down to blind luck all of the time. I'm so glad I made the effort to go up there. Maybe that was my little reward, that rainstorm. So we're just about, there we go, back on the path, and we shall continue up towards High Rig. I am thoroughly enjoying my first adventure back in the fells, and I'm really liking this fell so far, High Rig, or this ridge as it is. And yeah, I think the main thing still, is I just love how it's wooded. It's absolutely fantastic. And then look at this, we've got some more views once again down towards the northern end of Thirlmere. Wonderful. So we've now got towards the top of the ridge. We're still a way away from the proper summit of High Rig itself, but we've got these extensive views out towards Blencathra and Skiddaw. In fact, we can now see the summit of High Rig itself. Just there, the one that's lit up beautifully, coincidentally, for me to show you. So that's really nice. I think that is my favourite thing about fell walking. Although it's a bit of a broad statement, it's just the variety that you get throughout the whole walk. I think it's so easy to look at a hike and just think about reaching the summit and the views that you're going to get from the summit, but it's just never the case. And I've mentioned this before, but it's another thing that I love about doing the Wainwrights. When I first started, I was thinking, so many of these hills are so close to each other. Are the views going to be the same? Are the environments and the experiences going to be the same? But honestly, it is never, ever the case. And this is why I feel so glad that I made the borderline daft decision to do each Wainwright one by one. Because honestly, every single one, it's so different. Look at this here now. That is just absolutely spectacular. Oh my goodness me. As a landscape photographer here, there's got to be a shot. I tell you what, I'm coming back this way, so I don't want to stop every 2 minutes. Look at all this heather as well. This is incredible. Blencathra is looking so gloomy and menacing, foreboding as always. I love that mountain. But yeah, I really love the variety. Another part of that variety isn't just, you know, what you're looking at, it's the actual route itself. You'll find so many of the fells, so many of the Wainwrights. There's just so much variety. Like this is, I mean, I wouldn't go as far as calling it a scramble, but we're not far off. And I suppose, I mean, the challenge of the walk. I don't think I've been up any of the fells where it's just the same terrain all the way up to the summit and back, or whatever the route is that you're doing. There's always so much variety in that sense as well. Wow, that's a nice little tarn, isn't it? It's actually, I just looked on the Ordnance Survey maps, it's unnamed. I suppose it is quite small. It's just a puddle, but yeah, we've got, what have we got here? Long scale peak just there, and then probably if we step to the right a little bit, we'll be able to see, there we go, skiddaw opened up. That's lovely. I think we may just be able to see the top of High Rig as well. Yeah, just around here somewhere. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna have to grab a photograph of this. I always forget to unlock this lens. I don't usually lock it, but because I'm using it on my Peak Design clip. So let's have a look here. I just want to make, oh, that looks so nice. It probably looks really, really dark on the LCD screen, but if you look at my histogram, it's because I really don't want to clip any of the highlights up there in the sky and the clouds, and in the Tarn itself actually, where it's reflecting the sky. So it's really important that we look at keep our eyes on the histogram there. So there, I'm just in aperture priority and I'm using the exposure compensation f11, and we'll make sure we're focused on the Tarn. 1/60th of a second. All right, make sure we're level. That looks so cool. I love it. Oh, I really like that. I might, looking at it there, I might put that as a 16:9 because, yeah, there's a lot down in the foreground as I'm looking at it that's unnecessary, but that's lovely. I love the sort of subtle reflections there in the Tarn, and the clouds are just glorious as well. Oh, we've got a nice little squelchy section here beside this Tarn. In fact, I've got a feeling that he's maybe not usually this big. We've had, I suppose, quite a lot of rainfall recently, but I always think it's a shame. Give it a name, man. Just anything. But yeah, maybe it's just usually way more of a puddle. That is beautiful. I think it is really gorgeous and deserving of a name. I mean, I don't know what you'd call it. I don't know what you call it. There are a few tarns, aren't there? Is it Sprinkling Tarn, I think, is one of them that's actually like a modern name. There are a few tarns, and I think a few peaks, actually, a few fells as well, that are just modern names. Perhaps they didn't have names in the first place. And yeah, oh, got a couple of paths here, look. Got one up here beside that fence, and then another one going this way. Ah, these views are spectacular. I love autumn, or the approach of autumn. I mean, that looks as autumnal as it gets. You know, when the bracken is this beautiful sort of orange colour, it is amazing this time of year. Right, I'm going to have a look at the Ordnance Survey maps to make sure I know which path I'm going on. So it was this left-hand path. Oh, that wind has picked up a little bit, but I don't think it really matters. I think, to be honest, up on this ridge, on High Rig itself, I mean, you can sort of see it from here. It's just a mishmash of all different paths. I mean, I could see one around there. I can see the path that we're on here. I'm assuming that little section there is where we're headed to. But there's the summit. So as we slowly make our way towards the summit of High Rig, I would like to say another massive thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. I'm extremely grateful for their support. It's their support amongst a lot of other things that allows me to do this full time. And that is just incredible. Very grateful. If you've never heard of Squarespace, they're an all-in-one platform that you can use to build your own website, which is what I did. My own website is through Squarespace, and I'm so proud of it. I think it looks pretty good, if I'm being honest, even if I say so myself. But Squarespace do most of the work. It is so easy. They've got loads of templates that you can use to get yourself up and running. You just add a little bit of text, a few images, and before you know it, your website is good to go. They've also got fantastic customer service as well if you ever need a little bit of help along the way whilst you're building your website, although you probably won't because it's so easy. And they've actually, it automatically looks good on phones, on tablets, on computers, of course. So that's a good bit of peace of mind. You don't have to worry about that at all. It's just, as well, I think having your own website is just such a fantastic way to have a proper portfolio that you can send people to. I think that is brilliant, you know, as photographers. So if you'd like to give them a go, head over to squarespace.com/Henry Turner and get yourself a 14-day free trial. Absolutely nothing to lose. Just go and have a look. And if you like your free trial, make sure you use the offer code Henry Turner at checkout for 10% off your first purchase. There'll also be a link in the video description below. Wow, look at this. This is just another scene that draws the landscape photographer in pretty much as I'm framing that up. As you're seeing it there, I'm going to have to grab a quick shot with the Nikon Z7. And that tree is actually looking quite autumnal. There's a few yellows and lime greens in there as well. Wow, I know I mentioned it before, but look at this bracken. It really does feel like the middle of autumn in this section of the ridge. It is just, I mean, there's no green bracken in sight whatsoever. It's absolutely glorious. You know, like I mentioned before, that sort of rusty orange colour that it starts turning this time of year. And yeah, I suppose here it's a little bit more exposed. It's just all on the side of the fell, whereas further back at the start of the walk, it wasn't as far gone. There was still a lot of the green bracken, and I suppose it was sheltered by a lot of the trees and wooded areas and crags and things like that. But yeah, this is lovely to see. Right, we are very close to the summit of High Rig now, so I'm going to make a move. I'll see you when I get up there, and I'll have my tuna sandwich as well. I think I'll have a nice little rest. So one last push up, probably be at the summit in 2 or 3 minutes. I'll show you this view behind me as we are ascending up. Absolutely wonderful. Look at those reflections on Thirlmere up there on the top right. That is just quality. Isn't that just a beautiful little knoll there right in front of us? Oh, spectacular. Right, nearly there, nearly there. Oh no, I got it all wrong. I thought this little hill here was the summit, but the true summit is right off over in the distance there. You can actually see it's quite obviously a little bit higher. There's a few people up there as well, but yeah, made a little bit of a mistake on that one. I just checked on the Ordnance Survey maps to make sure, and sure enough, it's 14 meters higher, which is, that's fairly significant. Look, nice another little pond here, little mini tarn. But yeah, we best get up there if we want to bag this Wainwright. Here's a good example of what I was talking about before, of how all the paths just zigzagging over each other and just an absolute mishmash of trails. So I can only assume this little rock here is our true summit, so I'll have to get up here. Absolute class. Honestly, what did I just see that? 357 meters, I think I seen just then on the old Ordnance Survey maps. For such a tiny little fell, the views are absolutely outstanding. I think because it's a sort of ridge in the middle of many valleys, in between many different valleys, it's just such an isolated peak, so of course the views are absolutely incredible. We've got Blencathra up here. He's been a feature of the day, same as Skiddaw really. We're looking back over towards Bassenthwaite. I think we can even just see the top of Cat Bells as well. Oh, absolutely unreal. And then of course back over towards Raven Crag, Thirlmere, and then we can actually see Helvellyn up there in the clouds as well. Absolutely unreal. So you may be able to hear, or you'll be able to hear now, it is pretty windy. So I'm going to find myself a nice little bit of shelter and devour the tuna sandwich. I think I've got a banana as well. What a treat. What a treat. Oh, so it probably doesn't look much to you over on the right hand side, but there's a little speck of water there. That is Tarn. That is, I suppose, the final destination or halfway point really for today's hike. But yeah, it doesn't look much from here, but I hope you can sort of see by the lay of the land by the time we get down there on the shores of him, up close and personal. He's going to look wonderful with Blencathra and Skiddaw as a background, you know. Absolutely class. Right, sandwich time. Oh, that was nice. It's an absolute classic, isn't it? Getting up to the summit and just enjoying your sandwich whilst you enjoy the views and you enjoy the fruits of your labour of the hike. Oh, we've got a little rainbow down there. So I don't know if that's going to translate on the camera. You may be able to see it. It's very, very faint. We did just have a bit of a rain shower actually as we were enjoying the old tuna sandwich. So I'm going to press on now down towards Tarn because I'm quite intimidated by the fact that that's only halfway. So I need to make a little bit of headway, and we're going to come down off High Rig, obviously off the northern end of High Rig, and we sort of head down into a small valley, I suppose, just a bit of a dip really, and then we head up what's called Low Rig, which Wainwright describes as just a craggy rough pasture really, just a few small hills, and then we'll be at Tarn. I was just looking at the Ordnance Survey maps. I think I might change my route back. I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit, but a couple of reasons really. Firstly, I just love a loop. I love a loop on my hikes if I can make it work, just for the sake of variety, to see a few different things on the way back. Now that's not to say going back the same way will be a waste of time. Absolutely not. Going back the opposite way is brilliant, especially for photography. The light is shining in literally the opposite direction to your eyes as you're walking. In this case, we'll be walking into the sun. You'll see things that you perhaps didn't see on the way in. You'll see things that you did see on the way in, but they look different. It's a lot of the time it's like doing a completely different walk, so I don't mind it. But the second reason is I've got a bit of a problem with my knee, and I think absolutely falling apart in this video. First talking about my eye, now my knee. Getting old, man, getting old. No, I'm 90% certain it's IT band, something to do with my IT band. I won't go into it, but if you know, you surely know. It's a bit of a repetition sort of injury. I do a lot of running, cycling, obviously hiking, and oh man, it's an absolute annoyance. If anybody has got any advice, if anyone's overcome it, please let me know. It's one of them where I think I know what I need to do, but I just need to do it. I need to be consistent, and that is physio. I need to like complete certain exercises every day. I think there's a bit of a muscular imbalance, but I'm digressing a little bit. But yeah, if anybody's experienced that, especially if you've overcome it, please give us some tips. But yeah, if you look down into the valley there, we can actually scoot back round High Rig through there, which will be amazing. There's a footpath that kind of skirts the eastern flank of High Rig, so that'll be cool. And yeah, a lot of variety. That is looking fantastic, I'm sure you'll agree. at the minute. But we are about 1 kilometre or so to Chew at Tarn. So let's press on with my wonky knee. The jets do nothing but scare the life out of me. Oh, they are close. There's a couple of them flying around. Right, we've almost made it to Chew at Tarn. I'm going to go and have a look, but yeah, look at that, absolutely gorgeous. I don't think I'm going to get a photograph. Not because he's not nice and the scene isn't nice, just I think the conditions are a little bit boring. Look at the sky, everything's very blue. Yes, I could sort stuff out in post-production, but yeah, I don't know, I'm just... I'm not feeling that inspired by it in terms of the photography, but one thing I love to do when I come to places and I'm not really feeling it is just to visualize, like, look at this, look how incredible this would no doubt be in the snow. That's the first thing that enters my mind. Imagine all this covered in snow and some nice side light, bit of drama over the top of Blencathra. I think Blencathra is just made for drama. In fact, I'll put an image up on the screen there. I got that actually just pulled over in my van on the side of the A66, which is the big main road that comes in here into the North Lakes. But yeah, I really like that photograph, and that is just drama all over. I think he's such a characterful mountain. Yeah, he lends himself really well to dramatic conditions, and that is absolutely what we haven't got at this moment in time. But we'll head down to the shores, have a little explore, because yeah, I really wanted to come and see him. I really wanted to come and see him. Oh, he is so nice. What a spot, honestly. Really, really beautiful. It's strange because we're actually, I suppose, compared to the A66, the road that I was talking about, I don't know why I'm talking about that again, I hate that road, but we feel like a little bit higher up here next to the Tarn, and it just feels like such an incredible vantage point for photography, really. That's what's on my mind, just thinking coming back here, not even in snow, but imagine some side light hitting the Tarn from the left hand side from the sunset. And then again, I've just got drama on the mind. Imagine a bit of drama up above Skiddaw and Blencathra there. Yeah, that would be really, really nice. But all things to think about, you know, all things to come back for. I love all these reeds as well on this side of the Tarn. Absolutely class, man. 100% worth coming here just to see the Tarn, because I mean, I could come back here. I'll probably come back here one day with my camera. Oh, by the way, on that note, sorry, my alarm just went off on my watch for some reason. Yeah, on that note, for those of you that are interested, perhaps those of you that watch me regularly, firstly, thank you for your support. I have bought my new camera and I'm really excited about it. It's not arrived in the post yet, or else I would have brought it with me today, but I'll probably reveal what that is in next week's video, if it's arrived by then. But yeah, I'm really, really excited, and oh man, you know what? I'm not even that bothered. It's just so nice to be out today. It is. I have missed it so much. Like I said at the start of this video, absence makes the heart grow fonder. I haven't been on a hike. I haven't been to the lakes for a month. Last week's video, the bike packing trip, was the last time I was out, and that was a month ago. To be fair, it's not even that long. I'd say a lot of people go more than a month without coming, but yeah, I just missed it terribly, and it's so nice to be back. Unreal. Right, so I'm going to start heading back now, and we're going to get ourselves, that's High Rig, just up there, and we're going to get ourselves down in the valley on his eastern side, like I said. See how that is. I'm really looking forward to it, actually, taking a bit of a different route back. So you can see now, we're just getting back to this stile here that I jumped over about 20 minutes ago or so. But yeah, we're going to head down, you can see it really well now, head down into that valley there. It's actually called St John's in the Vale. I'm really looking forward to that. The light looks incredible there as well. I just wanted to try and show you from here, if you could see it. This is the route up to High Rig that Wainwright actually sort of recommends, this is the main route in the book. You can see the sort of green path there that heads up through the bracken, and he says if you're fit enough it'll only take about 15 minutes, and he says it took the author 35 minutes. But either way, you know, it's a really quick route up to such a beautiful peak. Like, that's the best low-lying fell that I've been up in the Lake District so far. So much bang for your buck, but I would definitely recommend coming up from the southern end of the ridge like we have done today. I'm sure you'll agree. You know, you've seen it in the video. It's been absolutely class. So yeah, definitely worth the extra effort, in my opinion. So get over this stile now, and then we'll head down into St John's in the Vale. Oh, goodness me, that was a tricky one. Oh, it's such a beautiful day, and look, I've never really been over this St John's in the Vale, this particular valley here at all. I've not been up, is that Clough Head up there? So a lot of this area, except from over that side nearer to Blencathra, it's all quite new to me from this perspective, and it's just absolutely glorious, is it not? I mean, and look at this path that we're headed down here. It's just absolutely amazing. The light's really nice. It's actually quite warm in the sun, which I wasn't really expecting. It was pretty cold this morning. It was about 11 degrees, but yeah, this is absolutely wonderful. And I mean, the light's all quite harsh, etc, etc. So, you know, I don't think it's ideal for the photography, but we'll see. It's been really changeable today, as you have seen, but I think for the most part I'm just going to enjoy this walk through this valley now. I think it's going to be really, really nice, and yeah, the conditions are just so pleasant. This could be one of the last warm days of the summer. I don't know yet, so I'm going to try and soak it up, literally soak up the sun, and just make the most of it. Oh, look at this little scene here, absolutely wonderful. First thing I seen was this tree just on this little mound here, absolutely amazing. But then look at the little ruin there, it's absolutely gorgeous. And then these crags off behind them, absolutely amazing, man. Really, really beautiful, this path. I've only just started it as well. We're only entering into this valley now. Probably not quite worth getting the camera out for me. It's all a little bit uninspiring with the dappled light. It's not doing much for me, but you can see there how there could be a photograph in certain conditions. In fact, I mean, look at all of this, and I'll sort of say it again. Imagine in the winter with snow. Imagine all these crags covered in snow, all of these fields here with the trees. Just incredible. Do you know what? When I was looking at that scene just a second ago and I was saying, imagine how good it'd look in snow, it got me thinking about how we do that as photographers. I do that all the time. In fact, I think it's a really important part of the process of ultimately finding nice photographs. You know, I may come back here in the snow and get a mint image, but what I wanted to say was just, I love how landscape photography has given me that. That is truly a gift. And what I mean by that is just the way that I look at the world. And I do it everywhere, even in urban environments. I do it in boring, mundane landscapes. I just always try to find, essentially, the positive in everywhere that I go. And I just think that is so amazing that we get that from photography, the photographer's mindset, the photographer's eye. And of course, it's a really important skill to try and get nice photographs. Look at this here. Absolute swimming pool. But yeah, it's an absolute gift. Right, let's continue deeper into our wonderful newfound valley. Sounds like there might be a bit of a waterfall here on the right hand side. I can hear something. Oh yeah, look at that little beauty. Let's get a little bit closer in, shall we? Oh, that's really nice, isn't it? Look, all the way up. And this is just coming down from High Rig. I just looked on the OS maps actually. It hasn't got a name, but it does just say waterfall. I love little finds like that. Just Again, adds to the variety, doesn't it? Adds to the excitement of exploration when you're out and about. So you may be able to see right off behind me there is a little white building, and it's actually a tea rooms. It said tea garden and there were people there. And I was thinking, that's really random in the middle of that valley. And then I looked on the Ordnance Survey maps and it turns out we're almost back at the van. We're almost back at the start of the hike. So it makes a lot more sense. But yeah, this is now the eastern flank really of what was Wren Crag, which is where I got that panoramic photograph, the first image of the day. In fact, if you look there, that is Castle Rock. So he was featuring quite prominently on the left-hand side of that panorama. Absolutely amazing. But yeah, I'd definitely recommend this route. If you're going to go up High Rig, I'd 100% would recommend doing it as, you know, like a bit of a loop and coming down through this valley rather than going back over the ridge. Like I said before, I'd say if you went over the ridge, it'd be ace. It'd be quality and worth every step. But yeah, for the sake of perhaps a little bit of variety, this comes recommended. And I mean, it's just been lovely. So different, such a different flavour from up on High Rig, and very, very quaint. And I've enjoyed it thoroughly. So we'll sort of head back towards the van now. Like I said, we're not far. And if there's anything worth stopping for, to get the camera out again, then I will stop. But yeah, we're really close now. A word of warning actually, as soon as I've just recommended this route, it is extremely squelchy, for want of a better word. It's just been a lot of it, like, you know, like this, essentially just walking through a shallow stream. So make sure you've got some good waterproof boots, or perhaps even welly boots or whatever. But yeah, just a word of warning. And then we've got this beautiful little forested section to finish off the walk, which I should have known really, because this is, I mean, you'll probably remember as well, this is how the walk started. So we're sort of just about to loop back round now and meet up pretty much right back at the van, like I said, right where it all began. Honestly, this is definitely, I mentioned it before, I think, definitely been the best sort of like smaller fell that I've been up, or the smallest, out of the smallest Wainwrights. I'd say it's even better than like Home Fell, and that's an absolute favourite of mine in terms of bang for your buck, especially if you consider, like I was showing you earlier, if you come up from the other side, the sort of northern side of High Rig, it's so quick. You could be up in, like Alfred Wainwright said, you could be up in 15 minutes if you were fit enough. But yeah, for the views that you get at the top of it, it absolutely has to be the best one. It has been such a good day, and I think I might have got one or two decent photographs as well. I don't know, but yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me on this trip. It's so nice to be back out, and I really hope you enjoyed it. Please hit the thumbs up button if you've got a quick second. It really does help out the channel, and even more so if you could subscribe if you haven't already. That would be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much, and I shall see you on the next adventure. Out.